Good morning.
Your voice is so soft. What did you say?
Good morning.
There we go.
Good morning.
We forgot to pray, so we're going to do the Lord's Prayer. Ready?
Yes.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, but forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
In Jesus Christ, we pray.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Abba.
I say the Lord's Prayer
Amen.
throughout the day. A lot of times in my mind, just in my mind. A lot of times just walking around, I'll say it.
But they said you can ask anything in your Father, but you have to ask through Jesus.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
I don't really ask him for anything, so I just talk to him randomly during the day.
Oh, you can ask.
But I recognize
It
Jesus
says
as well.
you can.
Yeah, I'm not really good with those rules. Like, who made up these rules? Men made up these rules.
Special
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I was listening to something this morning about the Shroud of Turin, and what they found in the 1980s was that when they did carbon dating on the Shroud of Turin, they found that it dated to the medieval times. So the only two questions that they had, or the two possible options, were, well, either the carbon dating isn't reliable, or it was a medieval forgery. No one suggested maybe they're lying to us about their timeline, and Jesus did exist during that time. And the whole Dark Ages, which doesn't make any sense, didn't exist at all. 1,000 years, like, yeah, we stopped learning how to do things, and people, back-wheeled into not being able to have art and science and literature just for 1,000 years. We don't know what happened then, because there's no record of it, but just trust us. No, see, the thing is, Jesus existed in a whole different time than they said he did, in my opinion. And he was alive in that time, because there's artists that have depictions of him. In Mind Unveiled, a channel that I watch a lot, did a great video on this, where there's all these renowned artists and historians that put Jesus in in a completely different era than they said he was supposed to be, like 1,000 years
Before?
after that he was supposed to exist, the same time that the Shroud of Turin carbon dates to. So everything puts him in that time period except for modern theologians and historians. So I don't know. I mean, I'm leaning toward who I would trust more, you know? It's kind of crazy. The thing is, we're relying on people that hate us to explain to us our history, and that's, it's a lot to think about waking up on. I'm very excited that Nia bought me a pair of shorts that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 pockets. 3 on each side. I get 3 on each side, right? 2 in the back. Which means everything I carry, and I carry a lot of shit, has a dedicated spot. Right?
Right.
Money, paper, other things, they all have spots.
Other things.
Not drugs. I don't do drugs anymore. No, isn't that weird? Isn't that kind of hard to
Yeah.
I never thought there'd be a point in my life where I'd be just, not even pot. Occasionally I smoke pot. It becomes
Well, you haven't for
I get it for
long time.
free usually. Someone would give it to me, like a neighbor or one of your
You
friends.
don't like it
I don't, because
anymore.
I don't. It makes me like what old people used to say about pot. They're like, when I was younger, hey, do you want to smoke? It makes me paranoid. And I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, old fucking coot? No, I'm not old coot, because it makes me paranoid. I sit and think about, like, man, I really shouldn't have said that in homeroom back in 6th grade. Why did I do that? I feel like such a fool. Like, most of those people are dead, right? And I'm just like...
That's most part of being mature. You've done a lot of things that...
Yeah, but dwelling on them isn't good.
Oh, no, you don't.
So when I get baked, I dwell on stuff like that. I should have said goodbye to my friend Tom when he went up to college. I don't know why I didn't just come out and say,
my goodness.
things like that. It's like, why am I thinking about this? It's because of weed. And the other thing too is, a lot of this pot now, it's not the good old CIA Mexican dirt weed when I was growing up, where you get a bag, you pick out all the stems and sticks, and then you have a couple of brown joints. Now it's all from dispensaries, and the government's running the fucking gig. And people have been complaining about this stuff being a little weird or a little different.
They put growth hormones?
They put all kinds of shit in it, hon.
For money.
I haven't even really gone down that rabbit hole. Other people have, but yeah, I mean, for them it's a weapon. It's a control weapon, you know, for a population. This is pretty thick over here. I keep thinking I hear someone in there. There could be someone in there.
Oh yeah.
I saw some movement out of the corner of my eye and heard some. Could be somebody sleeping there. Yeah. Yeah. It's none of my business. I don't care. I just noticed it. Let's get across here. We can do it. Done it. But yeah. So that's that, as they say. And he's walking up to work. Well, we both are.
5:30?
Yeah, there's the mountains up ahead that you won't be able to see really well on this phone. Because everything looks so much better in person. Right?
Just like me. Especially me.
Yeah, both of us.
Especially both of us.
Both of us. But when you use the camera, I mean, those mountains are real close. But they make them look... Well, look at how far away the street looks. It looks like the street stretched out.
Oh, yeah. It's like right next.
Yeah, it's like a funhouse mirror.
Yeah, they're right there.
There's a reason for that.
3 minutes.
Everything to me is, of course, conspiratorial, but they didn't like the Polaroids.
Why? Oh, it shows too much?
It shows too much. They don't have enough control over what you were able to develop right there in front of your eyes. You could take a picture and instantly. Yeah, you look at some of those old Polaroids, especially when you look at things like planes. There's this one picture of a guy with a Polaroid of a plane flying over his neighborhood, and you could see everything on that fucking plane. It was so clear. Now you take a picture of one, and it looks like a blur. You know what I mean? The bug. Well, it's getting warmer out this wide. But yeah, they don't. The Polaroids are great. And there's really no.
You can buy it though.
Can you still get them?
Yeah. It's like a novelty, but you can buy it.
Yeah, they were the best. It just happened right there.
Yeah. We should buy it one day.
I gotta get a shortwave radio. They have them at Ross for real cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in case something happens. I mean, they're having these sun events in the country, and blackouts and shit are going on now, as everybody predicted they would. You know, because
of course
they're doing that whole thing now. They're renting it that time.
Build a bunker while you're at it.
I'd like to, but
we're not multi-millionaires.
Right, and there is no. Yeah, like people always say that, like prep. There's nothing you can do to prep to keep yourself. I mean, how would you do that?
Why would you want to live?
Right.
In that space, just what? Let's say 5, 10, 20 of you.
Unless you're in the middle of the woods near a water source.
Yeah.
In a fort that you could defend.
Let's say you live 5 more years. Why would you want to live there?
Yeah, I mean.
Nothing. You'll probably end up being crazy and just commit suicide from depression.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
5, 10 years, you cannot go outside, you're inside. No matter if there's a swimming pool or whatever.
Well, all those CEOs are building all those bunkers. There's one here a bunch of them here in Hawaii. A lot of them, they all went to islands. New Zealand, they made a bunch. Oh, it's no good. It's no good. And plus, if you have everything, people are going to come to you.
And you just live by yourself.
You've got to defend yourself, too, if you're going to have anything.
Oh, yeah, but you can't get into the bunker. They made it so good.
Yeah, but these bunkers that these people have will fucking pour concrete in the fucking vents. Yeah. Because that indeed happens. All right, hon. I'll see you later. Love you. You can call. Let me know what's going on. You okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'll text you when I get home. I got a lot of footage piling up that I haven't edited. I'm trying to slow down with my how I pump videos out. Like, I know this is. I don't like talking about channel shit, who gives a fuck, but I don't know, like I don't really have enough followers to do some kind of poll, but I often wonder, like, is it better to, like, I for the most part, since I started doing this, I released one a day, sometimes two, and there's been times when I've done three, depending on how productive I am or how, or whatever. And yeah, but I don't know. What is he talking about? Oh, he's talking to someone else. But then, do people have time to even watch them? I don't know. So I'm thinking like maybe space them out a little bit more, I guess. So I've been kind of sitting on some footage. And then plus there's other ones like, and again, I'm going to wrap this up in a minute because I know this is not exciting at all, but you know what? You don't need to know about this stuff. This is something I can figure out on my own. The point is, I'm trying to figure out what's that word? The amount I'm going to be doing, if I should give time in between. Look at the ocean, looks good this morning. Low tide. Low tide is the best tide. When I was a kid, well, up until the time I was a young adult, during the summer my family would move to a beach house on the east coast of the mainland out in Massachusetts. We had beachfront property. So you'd, your front door, over the front door in the ocean there. And high tide, sometimes it would come up almost where if we got, a good wave, it could reach the house, go around the house, in a storm, and sometimes battering the front windows. And then in low tide, you could open the door and just walk for a long time until you reach the ocean. And it's really the only time you could go swimming or fuck around in the water. I wouldn't do it in high tide. I mean, that's, you could drown that way or get sucked out that way. It's always, everybody kind of knew that though. They would usually only go in or mess around in there during low tide. It's a time to go in. This here is interesting. What we have here is we have a retaining wall that runs kind of along the beach, which kind of, I'll show it when I get over to it, but I don't know what the design idea is, but yeah, I wish I could go too, but I would get fucking arrested. Yeah. Because, I live here. If you're a tourist, then you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. They don't care. You're going to be just passing through. But, I'm a resident here, and I obviously have money because I live indoors, so they'd definitely give me a ticket or arrest or whatever. And I would be arrested because, well, it's not even talk about that. See that retaining wall? And then there's that thing over there. That thing's pretty cool. I gotta be careful with this cigarette. That exactly has to do with what I was just talking about. It's a crime to smoke in the wrong place here in Hawaii. And I've been caught doing it a few times, even though I wasn't in the wrong place. They said I was. I wasn't. And I got stuff from that left over that I still have to clear up. But yeah, the only time I've never committed a crime in my life until I moved here to Hawaii and was smoking in what they claim to be the wrong place, even though it wasn't. Because it's a crime to smoke in the wrong place here. You got to go to criminal court. You got to go before a judge. My friends usually plead no contest, but I didn't. I pled guilty. And everybody said, you're an idiot for doing that. But I said, no. I'm trying to prove a point. And they're like, well, what? To who? And I said, I don't know. All right, so up here, this runs, it starts here at this thing. That thing's cool. We should walk out there sometime. I haven't been out there in years. But I used to go out there all the time and just sit there. There's lights out there at night. And there's another walkout that goes, oh, this walkout over here. I think it was like, wasn't long after I moved here. And there's this thing, this little kind of stone kind of pier thing that just goes out into the water. There's no building at the end, obviously. The one right there, as you can see, my fingers pointing to it. So I go out there one night, and there's lights over on this one, kind of. But there's no lights on that one. So I'm going out there at night, and I'm just walking to the end of it. And I hear all this crunching. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then it's crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm like, what? I turn my phone on to get the light, and there's all these little black baby crabs covering the entire walkway. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, guys. I kind of, I turned around, put the light on, and walked back the way I came, kind of like trying to move them with my feet as I walked instead of stomping on them. I felt so fucking bad. Terrible. Like an ecological disaster. So yeah, I was talking about earlier at Nia, that missing 1,000 years. It's looking more like Hebrew was like just a LARP language that they invented, which would be, which would go with the fact that there are LARP people pretending to be Jews and they're, not crawled out of the Black Sea and murder the real Jews, and then just said, we the Jews now. We the sons of Abraham. No, I'm a son of Abraham, you're not. That's why they have to get rid of the white man. It's awkward for them to go around repping sons of Abraham when the actual sons of Abraham are still walking around. But, no one really knows that except me and a bunch of us schizos, and no one listens to us, so I guess that's the end of that. It's nice out here in the morning, huh? That grass right there is considered a park, so I could get arrested for smoking there. The beach, I can't smoke on the beach. I can smoke here on the sidewalk, right? But yeah, the first time I got busted was because I was standing in the grass over here. And I'm like, no, I'm in the grass. The beach is right there. I know you can't smoke on the beach. And they're like, no, you can't. This is a park. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, this is a park that you're in. The grass on the ground. Now, to me, a park is a fucking park. How was I supposed to know that that is a park? That's not a park. It's a strip of fucking grass. A park has people dealing drugs in slides and stuff. That's not a fucking park. So, yeah, that kind of sucked. They got me twice with the park meme. When who cares? That's my problem, not yours. I'm burning with you with my ridiculous smoking thing. They got a little thing set up there. They had a parade. Oh, they're having a parade today, I think, or something. Is it Sunday? Yeah, today's Sunday, Mother's Day. They're having a parade further down here. Watch it be Monday. I'm really bad with days, When you make your own hours and you kind of create your own sort of schedule, which I've been doing pretty much since, this century, I guess. The last real job that I worked, like a punch-in job, in 2001, 2002, and so when you kind of and I worked for family after that too, and yeah, you have to have like a schedule there, but you're not as freaked out about it because it's family that you can say, hey, whatever, not be irresponsible, but it's not like you're worried about losing your job, There is something good about waging though, because it's like you go in, you do your shit, you leave, and you don't have to think about it at all. I mean, there's downsides to it, of course, as most people know, but it's not something you have to take home. Yeah, so the 1,000-year thing, and Montevideo was going into it like the possibility that our timeline has been changed to push us up 1,000 years, so that there's 1,000 fake years in there. That didn't really happen. That they call the Dark Ages, like I was saying earlier, when all the technology and just how to do everything was lost, and people reverted to like dirty villager from Monty Python status for reasons. And it got me thinking, right? Maybe there was some kind of reset. Like these resets they talk about are the ones they want to do. They talk about coming again, being like a civilization reset. The last one we believe to have taken place in the late 1800s, the 1880s. There was some kind of event or some kind of restart. So that's always possible too. That could account for why language and technology was lost. There was some sort of event. Maybe, like I talk about all the time, perhaps it was another revelation, like the revelation of the Bible. To me, anyway, it kind of feels like it's written in a way that it almost sounds like someone's describing something that happened already, not something that's going to happen. Or perhaps something that happened already and is going to happen again, like a cyclical kind of thing. Could be. But unfortunately, I'm not going to solve it here today. Coming up on the healing stones, they are supposed to have magical powers that heal people. They were brought here by these hermaphrodite people thousands of years ago, brought them to the islands, and imbued them with their healing powers, because they came here and started healing people with this like magic kind of healing power they had. And when they left, they're like, well, it's a gift to your people. They pulled these stones. Where did they take them from? I don't know. They took them from, I know, but I just can't think of it. And they imbued them with their healing powers. They said, if people need help, the stones are here, and they can heal themselves with them. What did they do? They hid them, lost them, buried them in the backyard, under a bowling alley for a while. Kleghorn had them at his house, and then eventually they found their way here, and now they locked them up, and they have them just far enough away so that you can't touch them. That's how we roll. And ain't nobody getting healed unless they go to CVS and get a prescription and get into our pharmaceutical system. They're not letting you do anything. I mean, the healing stones would be free. You can't charge people for that. It's almost like they're taunting you with them too. Like they're mocking you. Like, here they are. You can't reach them before you have them set up. It's got a lock here, and it's right next to the police station. Most people don't know what they are anyway, but they have it. I swear, like, I haven't measured exactly how far it is, but it's like they position them just perfectly out of reach for the average person. Just out of, it's symbolic, of course. It's, fucking Satan's world, man. Evil shit. It's alright though, this whole thing's gonna wrap up sooner than later. We're all gonna vibrate right out of this fucking popsicle stand, and all its problems, and all its nastiness, and ill, sick people. It's one thing I like about living here in Hawaii. There's a lot of beauty here, because there's a lot of God's creation here, a lot of plant life. Everywhere you look, there's it's coming up through the ground. If they could stop it, they would, right? Of course they would. A lot of it has been cut back, and they still do that. They don't like God's creation, they don't like seeing it. But they also let it happen here so they can bring people here for tourism. But most major cities, and it's going to say America, but the West, they tear out any kind of plant life, any kind of bit of God's creation. You go into a city, it's just all concrete and steel. And again, as a mockery, right, to mock you, they'll plant those little trees and those little fucking planter things. They'll put out these little thin trees with like 5 leaves, as a mockery, to mock you. This stuff is how you live. You breathe what this plant life expels, and they breathe what you expel. I was seeing somewhere too that they're going to start taxing New York residents for carbon emissions, because when you occupy, and this is real too, when you occupy a place, right, there's a carbon emissions tax on your breath because you breathe out carbon dioxide, which is why the whole mask thing is fucking dangerous to do. You're poisoning yourself. But, I've been through that. I've tried to explain that. People get mad and they want to kill you when you say stuff like that. But so they're gonna tax people on their breath. So they're actually trying to monetize breathing. And that's not hyperbole. That's what it is. That's what they're doing. You're getting an emissions tax on your breath. And there are people that think that's outrageous. But for the most part, people are just like, oh, it's just how it is. They're just, people are so beaten. They're just so desensitized to the madness, that they kind of can't discern what's important or what's in their best interest anymore. They're just done, You can get away with that stuff now. A tax on breathing. Fucking mental. Should go to walk in the mall. I know it's a great time to be outside because there's hardly anyone around, but even in these early hours, I still get monged. Plus, being inside a mall here isn't really being inside at all. It's still outside. Everything, all roofless structures here, for the most part. I mean, this obviously is a roof, but this is the bottom floor. There you go. That's someone got away from behind me. Let's go over here. I know all the solitary ways to go. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I'm crazy paranoid about that kind of stuff too. But it doesn't matter where I am or what time I am. There's always someone in my house. No matter. It's kind of weird. It could be any time of day, any place. I thought this would be okay. Yeah, I go through a lot to try to avoid people. Because it's weird. It's like when I'm doing videos, right? I'm trying to talk about something, and then I get someone like right behind me. And like I'll try to move a little bit or accommodate them. And no, they want to be right behind me. I thought that nature trail back there would be a good spot, but I guess everybody else at, 6:30 in the morning, not even. That's funny. I guess we're at the point in the video I'm just bitching like a fucking old faggot, but yeah, I just, that's the thing about doing videos outside, walking around. If I was in a room, I could probably get a lot of these ideas and information across better, and I do stuff inside. I do those, that Batcave H&L stuff, but they're usually just little quick things that pop into my mind. What do we got going on here? Oh, it's Mother's Day. Yeah, I just said that. Here we go. A lot of Mother's Day stuff happening. Yeah, it's nice over here. Yep. I took some shorts from up on top of this building the other day. I was like up there. get good views. You can see a good part of Kalakaua. It's weird to look at parts that I've walked through thousands of times to see from a different angle. Alright, well that was a nice little walk this morning.
Come on, let's go.
Be back in a little bit with something probably from a few days ago first, but as I work my way through all the footage, I'm gonna footage to do a movie. I don't know if it'd be a good one, but it definitely have the length. So until next time, thanks for dropping by. And as always, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.